Hello, everybody, and welcome to Podcast Period, the internet's stupidest podcast. My name is Ben, and with me today, as always, is my co-host David.
What's up, guys?
We have another normal-ish episode for you today. Got a couple of interesting news articles to talk about. Got some trailers that we're going to watch and rate, and then we're going to talk about Breach yet again, because why not? It's been a month since we've talked about it. More than a month since it's come out, and it's going to be probably like a month and a half by the time the episode comes out. So it's fine. There's enough time. Anyways, our first story is an interesting one. Comes from Ars Technica. OpenAI CEO Sam Altman announced that starting December 2025, which is not that far away. That's like a month and a half away. ChatGPT will allow erotic / sexually explicit erotica conversations, but only for verified adult users. The move is a part of OpenAI's broader treat adult users like adults philosophy. Sure. OpenAI plans to institute age gating / verification and safety tools to ensure minors are blocked from accessing explicit content, because all of that has worked so well before. Altman says prior restrictions, especially around mental health content, were overly cautious, and with improved safeguards, many limits can now be safely relaxed for consenting adults. Users will need to explicitly request erotica. It will not be forced or default. OpenAI will continue to block content that is harmful, non-consensual, exploitative, or involving minors. Dear God, I hope so. Critics bring up serious concerns, i.e. the effectiveness of age verification. Can minors circumvent it? I'm going to get this out of the way. Almost certainly they're going to be able to. Listen, I saw when they first added the age verification for YouTube not that long ago. I'm not 100% sure if it's come to the US or not, but I saw that people tricked that with pictures of video game characters from Gmod, so I don't have high hopes for whatever OpenAI is planning on implementing. Let's just say no. The age verification will not work very well. Emotional, psychological effects, especially with users forming unhealthy attachments to AI, that's already happening, so I don't know what this really has to do with the conversation at hand necessarily, but okay. Regulatory and reputational risk. Some fear public backlash or legal scrutiny. That's fair, because again, kids are going to be able to get to this, and we're going to see a lot of 14, 15-year-olds talking up ChatGPT and getting nudes. Oh, gosh. Parenting trust. Mark Cuban warned that parents won't trust that minors can be blocked successfully. No, they will not be blocked successfully. Mark Cuban is a smart guy. I think he knows what he's talking about.
Honorary uncles are scared that their nephews are going to find stuff that they're not supposed to. I don't trust it, and I'm not even a parent.
No, I'm glad that my kids are not old enough for me to worry about any of that stuff yet. That, and we monitor their internet activity fairly rigorously. I.e., they can't get on the internet at all.
Yeah, exactly.
They can play Angry Birds. That's about it. So, some questions that we've got for this. How might OpenAI implement age verification in a way that balances privacy and effectiveness? The public announcements don't yet specify how age verification will be done. In other industries, common methods include scanned government ID, facial biometrics, checking against ID, credit card checks, mobile identity verification, and third-party verification services. The challenge, many methods raise privacy, security, and misuse risks, i.e. data leaks and identity theft. Another thing that happened fairly recently was the Discord age verification leak that happened, I don't know, like maybe a week and a half ago. I don't know the exact timeline as of recording this, but it was a pretty big leak. I'm glad that the account age that I have for most things kind of it lets me get away without having to verify my age with like an ID or anything like that. Because most of the stuff that I have is like at least 5-6 years old, if not more than that. I know Discord is. I don't know. That might be a decade. That might be close to a decade. I know my Steam account is more than a decade at this point. To mitigate those, a privacy-preserving verification system might use cryptographic proofs, so the system only verifies over 18 without storing full personal details. Outsource verification to trusted third parties so OpenAI doesn't hold sensitive data. Require periodic re-verification or checks for specific behavior. There is precedent, for instance. Platforms that regulate adult content often use ID checks or credit card age checks, but in many jurisdictions these are imperfect and sometimes enforced poorly. Next question. What evidence exists about psychological risks or harms when users engage in erotic or emotional relationships with AI? I feel like we've heard enough through social media and like Reddit and news articles of people forming these relationships with AI in an extremely unhealthy way. Like I saw a picture, like a screenshot the other day on Reddit. It doesn't give how like old the chat was, but you can get the sense that this person had talked to ChatGPT for a long time about a lot of stuff. It was really weird. So this person apparently tells ChatGPT that she's gotten pregnant, and ChatGPT is talking about all these different things about her past, like how she's struggled with having a baby and everything. The vibe that I got is like emotional dumping ground, basically. I don't remember the exact wording, but it was very unsettling.
It's scary to say the least. I've seen a lot of it lately. Facebook in particular, and I don't know why. There would be like an app or an ad for this like AI companion app, and every time I see it, I just like fully cringe. It's like, you can make this like a dominant or submissive relationship. Like what are you doing?
What?
This is like, why? And this is on Facebook as ads. I don't like. There's no way you're getting around this. You can't do anything to stop people from. Okay, Tennessee, I think Florida did this too. Tennessee did exactly some of the things we're talking about. Age verification, license verification, things like that. There are sites that went one way. There are sites that just completely blocked your access. It's like, if they know your IP is from this certain state, they should just say, nope, we're not dealing with it. Because even they knew there was no way to actively enforce the age verification, and they just did not want to deal with it. It's like, we can't enforce this, we're done. We'll just block you entirely. And then you have the total opposite, like X, that is actively allowing this crap on it. And X is so open, like, even public Wi-Fi at work doesn't block that. So you could look at the not safe for work content all day long if you want. There's no filters on that. You try to go to a website, the VPN will block it. Thank God. As much as the other things that they don't block, that they should block. There's no way that this is going to hold up. Why would you bake this into a freaking hallucinating disaster as it is already?
I don't have high hopes for this, at all. This is going to go so badly. We're gonna come back to this in in January, after this is launched and been out for a while, and we're gonna have at least 2 articles about a data breach.
How many hours/minutes do you predict before there's a report saying somebody's successfully gotten past the age verification, or things have gone so horribly wrong?
The age verification thing is going to last less than a day. I can guarantee it. Less than a day. And you know the worst part about this? I found out not that long ago that unless you turn it off, ChatGPT chats are publicly indexed.
Oh, no.
You can search for them on Google. If you
No.
know the specific keywords. So come December 1st, we're going to see a lot of people starting to show up with Dom and Sub and a bunch of other weird stuff showing up in Google. And you're going to be able to read people's personal chats with ChatGPT. It's going to go off the rails real quick.
I am so glad. I've refused to set up Gemini on my phone or my watch. I'm not using the new Google AI stuff on any of the devices that it's wanting me to. I've not used ChatGPT or anything else on the computer for any type of personal conversation, even to ask it the frickin' weather, because I knew this kind of crap was going to happen. And of course, you're going to find it online. Of course you are. So, dystopian thing number 56 this year, just one step closer to frickin' Skynet taking everything over. Now you're telling me that if you know certain keywords, you can find it publicly online, because by default, who does that? But they say this is going to be not by default, so they say.
Well, it's not going to be by default, but I mean,
yeah, right. Sure.
It doesn't take that much to ask for it if you know what to ask for, you know?
Mm.
Okay, last question. How do AI moderation systems detect and block non-consensual or exploitative erotic content, and what are their limitations? Relevant research work is facilitating pornographic text detection for open domain dialogue systems via knowledge distillation, which introduced the sensor chat dataset and methods to detect erotic or pornographic content in dialogue. Their approach: gather real human AI dialogue data to label turns as pornographic or not. Use knowledge distillation from large models, GPT/GPT-4, to annotate and refine labels, train classifiers on the pseudo-labeled data to accelerate detection. I feel like it would not be that hard to figure this out, honestly. So it really boils down to a bunch of keywords. I mean, there's ways to skirt your way around it, but I mean, eventually it's all going to lead to the same words.
I need another term for foot, so that the people with the foot fetishes can have another term for that. That'll probably be the safest one that gets put out here. Let's be honest. Like, everything else is going to go down a really bad rabbit hole really, really quick.
Is another word for foot? That's a good question. Synonym for foot.
Oh my goodness. My lower phalanges are going to be excited about this.
Trotter?
Yeah, Tootsie, sure.
Dogs?
That could get bad.
Yeah.
Real fast.
Ooh. A lot of these have turned into animal ones. Paw, forepaw, pad, hoof.
Exactly. Mm-hmm.
It'll lead to other things that all lead to the same place. Somebody's doing something with somebody else, or hopefully somebody else, and not something else. We don't need to go down that rabbit hole.
Pandora's box is going to be opened, and it's going to be horrific, to say the least.
Yeah, I can only imagine. Let's move on to the next article. What have we got?
I feel like playing against good old... I feel like Zelensky should be happy about this. Next thing on the docket, NATO Secretary General Mark, I'm assuming Rutte, publicly mocked Russia over the condition of its diesel-electric submarine. Not even going to try to pronounce this. It's Novorossiysk or something.
We can call it the Novo.
Novo for short, because it's bad, and I'm not going to even get close to it. Comparing the situation to the Tom Clancy thriller The Hunt for Red October, fabulous movie. You should definitely watch it if you haven't. But rather in this case, The Hunt for the Nearest Mechanic. It was reportedly, the sub in question was reportedly surfaced off the French coast and was later seen being escorted through the North Sea, which NATO and Dutch authorities interpreted as signs of technical trouble.
If you have to tow it, yeah.
I would say so. Russian authorities denied any serious malfunction, saying the submarine had surfaced as part of standard navigation procedure during an interfleet transit from the Mediterranean. A Telegram channel linked to Russian security leaks claim that there was a fuel leak aboard the Novo, raising the risk of an explosion, and that the crew lacked the necessary spare parts or engineering know-how and personnel to fix it. Sounds like Russia, just saying. NATO naval and allied ships from multiple countries tracked the submarine's movements, shadowing it from the French coast through the English Channel and into the North Sea. There was also some remarks from the general. Still, I think it's Rutz. We'll call him Mark for sure. Was intended to signal that NATO's perception of the decline in Russian naval readiness and to underscore Western vigilance over maritime security. So,
yeah, I gotta be honest.
One might ask.
I gotta be honest. When I think Russia, I don't think Navy. I mean, I know there's a lot of water around Russia, but like...
The problem that they have is they don't have good, open, consistently navigable waters. They've got a lot of borders to the north that they could have ports for, but as of now, it's mostly frozen over. Give it another 20 years, and they'll probably have some free access. But they don't really have anything good out west because Siberia is just awful to get anything through. And they don't have anything good to the east or south because you got to go through too many close-knit, easily blockadable accesses. I mean, you go south and you got the Mediterranean. You go out towards Norway, it's NATO country. I mean, there's not good ways for them to get to the sea. So you're exactly right. They don't have much to begin with. And the fact what they do have is falling apart. I mean, we're talking about a diesel-electric submarine here. It's not even a nuclear sub. Like, this is their prime technology, and it's falling apart and aging this bad? What else are they going to have? But, whatever.
Some of these don't have anything, like, at all.
They don't.
Everything to the north has got to be frozen. The only thing that they might have is near, like, North Korea and China. But even then, I don't know.
That's why we got to be buddy-buddy. There's a reason why those three countries stay so closely connected. So, it's an actual Kilo-class diesel-electric attack sub. They're known for relatively quiet operations. They can launch their caliber cruise missiles in some configurations or torpedoes. They're usually about 3,000 to 4,000 tons displacement when submerged. A couple of models will vary within that. And again, because they're diesel electric, they have to snorkel. They have to surface and snorkel periodically to recharge the batteries. They got to run the engines and they got to be able to recharge them. Otherwise, they don't have air and they can't do that. Compared to, good old American nukes and everybody else that's got them, where they just stay underwater for as long as they want because they've got nuclear power running them. So it's not a very good sub, and then you've got all these problems going on with it. It asks a question about how their naval, submarine and naval capacity and capability has been affected since the war with Ukraine. One of the reasons why Zelensky's got to be happy. They've had several submarine maritime attacks and other setbacks since the war started in 2022. The Black Sea Fleet has been particularly distressed with losses of several surface vessels via either missile, naval drones, or coastline attacks. Their whole logistics thing is falling apart. They can't even get things across the Russian border into Ukraine. How the heck are they going to get anything out of their country? Apparently, they've had aging and deferred maintenance issues going on with a lot of their vessels. NATO's particularly noticed this, highlighting what Western analysts see as a degradation in operational readiness and support infrastructure. So, if you're Ukraine, you got to be happy. If you're the rest of the world and you see this happening, you got to wonder, what can they do? But at the same time,
other than stop trying to invade Ukraine, there's not really, that's where all of their, everything is going right now. All of their troops, all of their supplies, all of their maintenance and everything.
Everything.
That's where it's all going. If they stopped, they would be fine. But
they'd be fine, but he doesn't want to do that. Okay. So, barred any, real escalation with, nukes or something, it begs the question, how much of a superpower is Russia actually at this point? Yes, they have nukes. God forbid their nukes are this bad. Because if they haven't maintained those, they might have little accidental explosions here and there and everywhere else and not have any control over it. Because if they don't maintain a simple diesel-electric sub, which is outdated and antiquated technology, it's simple technology. The Germans were running U-boats in the frickin' 40s, and they were a real threat to the U.S. and other, England in particular, anybody else trying to ship things across the Atlantic.
Okay. So, we are 1 month out from our breach review, discussion, whatever. And I wanted to see if if anything has shifted since then. I know I haven't necessarily been listening to it as much as I was before we did our review of the album. I still feel, I think, the same about most everything. I still think it's their best album. I still think it's cemented their place in my personal album ranking and artist ranking and everything. I think that I still have the same opinion about what songs are in the top 4 or 5. But as far as everything else is concerned, it's basically like I predicted in our episode. it's kind of just fluctuated all over the place.
It's held for sure. I may have changed my mind on a placement or two of a couple of songs. I think Cottonwood snuck into second versus Tally. Now Tally's more like a solid third. But like
ridiculous.
Yeah, I know. Tally's really good. I just like sing. I don't know that it's like saying it's a better song per se, but as far as singing along and everything else, it's Cottonwood than Tally.
I guess.
But the overall feel of it, I've mellowed out more in some of my nitpickiness with certain transitions, and just the overall thing is just, it's aging like fine wine. Like,
yeah,
just, I don't think that's ever going to be topped, in my opinion. So I feel like everything was true that I said. That I said then is true now.
I will say,
maybe I could have been nicer about a few things.
I will say, when I put out a short not too long after the episode dropped about Raw Fear, and people were confused about your take on the technical issues about the song speeding up and then slowing down. They didn't. I don't think it was only like a couple people that commented, but I don't think they shared your opinion on docking points for that.
I don't think it's necessarily something that was fair. It happened. There is a position where you actively do exactly what you're saying you're not going to do. I don't think it was necessarily as fair as my mind led myself to believe at the time that it's an issue, because it's really not. It's the same thing with the transition from Intentions and To Days Lie Dormant. I've had a couple of songs transition in a shuffle since then. I've listened to a 21 Pilots specific playlist and shuffled it, and then also just like a generic like back and forth to work playlist. It's got like, I don't know, 250, 60 something songs on it now, because it just keeps getting bigger. And there's been random things that have shuffled one thing into another. The whole Days Lie Dormant thing is not an issue. I made it out to be much more than it was.
Exactly like I said it wasn't. I've had songs shuffle into Days Lie Dormant, and I've had one way go into a different song, and neither transition has bothered me, I gotta say. I think the way they cut it up is like masterful. It's kind of crazy. It shouldn't work, but it works. Either way.
There's a lot of things that shouldn't have worked, and it worked. So, like, let's take one of our most beloved songs, and let's just run the entire instrumental backwards. Slap on some new lyrics that shouldn't work, and it's easily top 5 song. That's never going to change. I love that. What I want, and I haven't done it yet, I need to do it. Like, shuffle this song, shuffle in, and then shuffle it out, and then reverse and reverse. And like, I want to hear that front to back and forth like 5 times in a row in a playlist. Until it's like ad nauseum, just
I'm sure there's a video out there on YouTube.
Somebody's done it. Gosh dang it!
Definitely,
somebody has done it. But no, it's not going to change. It's definitely, if anything, like I said, if it ages like fine wine, it's only going to get better. It makes me sad for what's next. Like, I hate, this is a really bad comparison because I'm sure it's not going to be this way. But we had all of everything that happened with Marvel. And we kept building, and we kept building, and we kept building, and we finally got to Thanos. And everything just felt bigger and bigger and better. And at some point, you're going to have to crest the hill. You're going to have to get on the other side of the roller coaster. And I do not want that to happen. And that's okay if there's like a small downhill. If we don't think the next album is as good as this, that's okay. I just don't want it to be... something like happened with like Phase 5 in DC. Like, ugh.
Yeah. So my take on that is I don't think that the hype is necessarily going to be as much for whatever comes next, just because there's not this whole back end legacy that they've committed to wrapping up in this album. In this next album.
Yes.
But I am intrigued by the circumstances going into the next album being they're not beholden to anything anymore. They don't have to tie, and I mean they don't necessarily tie every single song into the lore, but there's not this like thread that they have to try to weave throughout some of the songs. Try to make them work together, try to make them work with the story. They can kind of just do whatever they want to do, you know?
Yeah.
So
start something new. Make a new story. Begin a new story. Don't. Just honestly, make a fantastic album, and then maybe if you want to keep going, maybe start on the next one after that. Maybe start a new story, or just, I mean, at some point, you can't go on forever.
Yeah. I don't know. Honestly,
maybe it's better to not start something new, because then how do you finish it?
I don't know if I'd want them to start something again.
I don't think I'd want to either.
Because as much as I enjoy the lore, as much as I think it's cool, I think that they would be better off not tying themselves down again. And again, I thoroughly enjoy the lore, but I think they would be better served not doing that to themselves again.
I feel the same way. And I also think it helps just alleviate any issues with like the ultimate comparison. The story of Clancy and the story of Dima versus whatever the next thing be.
Exactly,
like,
yeah.
Well, I like Torchbearer and Clancy better, or I liked the villains or the protagonist or the antagonist, A, B, whatever, kills all that, and it just makes it simpler, and then I get to enjoy the music, which I already do. A lot of their songs, yes, there's lore building to it. And some of them are good because of the lore building. And then some of them I kind of had a little bit of issue with on this album because, okay, I know why. I understand why. But I had a hard time with City Walls because it was a lot of it had to happen, and it worked really freaking well with the video. And as a song, I did not appreciate it as much in the beginning. You don't have to have any of that if you start over with something new and tie it to nothing. And it can be what it needs to be, which is fine. They make darn good music. I mean, lore attached to it or none at all. And they're all
That's the reason
fantastic.
Why we both started listening to it, was because we both liked the music.
Exactly.
And I mean, I think we both kind of got the lore when Trench came out.
A little bit.
But honestly, up until like Clancy, I wasn't really focused on any of that. I was aware, but it wasn't like that big of a deal, you know?
Nope.
And then they dropped Clancy, and then you kind of get sucked in. And now Breach, it's the conclusion of the whole thing. But yeah, I don't know. I'm with you. I hope that they don't start something new, because God knows they don't They don't need to put themselves through that again. And I feel like they would be better served not being beholden to a storyline. And you're right. If they started something else, people would be like, there would be a lot of comparisons going one way or another.
It's inevitable. There's no way that it would not happen. Even as dedicated as their fan base is, it's gonna happen. You let something go on too long, you go that extra season on a show, you go that extra book in a trilogy or a series of books or anything like that, that one extra movie, or in some cases the entire sequel trilogy of a certain franchise, and it ruins it all. It ruins it all, and it makes it really hard to appreciate what was there before. In some cases, it makes you appreciate certain things that were there before even more, because it's like, oh, that actually was not that bad.
Yeah.
Thanks for making it worse. So, leave it be and just run with it. I also saw, and I don't know how accurate or if any truth to this at all, that maybe, possibly, that there could be, like, no longer, like, bound by contract with the recording studio,
with
their producers
with
or anything like that. With Field,
maybe they could. We haven't had anything publicly confirmed by them yet, so who knows if that's the case?
Who knows? Yeah,
but considering the circumstances, I would not be surprised, because they're right now the biggest band on Fueled by Ramen. And like, I don't know by how large of a margin, but they're definitely the biggest band on that label right now. And they pushed out zero marketing for this album, for Breach and for Clancy. Zero marketing whatsoever. The only post that I saw that they did was an Instagram post, not even for like the City Walls music video premiere, not even for the actual album premiere. They were promoting the Digital Remains version of Breach, the one that was on sale for a week and is no longer on sale. And that's it. That's it.
I think this is, well, it could be two things. It could be, we don't need to, because the band does a fantastic job at promoting their own stuff.
They've got a great team behind them, between themselves and the music, and they've got their video team, and they've got a really good website team that drops hints all over the place, like they were doing before Breach was announced, and even during the announcement and everything. I just don't know that they have the support of the label.
And maybe that's the way they wanted it. We don't know. Maybe that's the way they want it. Maybe they don't. Maybe they did all that because they had to, because they wasn't going to get support by the label. I don't know. Yeah. But
until we get a public statement, it's all going to be speculation. But speculation. It makes sense, especially considering they've kind of announced a hiatus after they're finished touring for Breach. I think they've announced some new like festival type dates for next year, but it's not like the amphitheater arena type shows that they've been doing where it's like they're the main attraction, they've got openers and everything. They're just part of the lineup of this festival thing. So I don't know. They deserve the break either way. And if the break ends up leading to them breaking up with their label, then, I mean, it is what it is.
And this is one of those cases where I could be dead wrong. I don't see them breaking from the label as being in any way, shape, or form detrimental to the band at all.
At this point,
I could be wrong, but the indications point to that it's not. They may be helping, but they're certainly not making them what it is.
Yeah.
If we were they talking, are not a success by them.
If we were talking like during Scaled and Icy, or maybe even Clancy, then I would say that there might be a reason to stick with a big label, because you got the money, you got the support and everything. But after Clancy, or after Breach shooting up to the top of the album charts, at least until Taylor Swift released her album, beating out Ed Sheeran's album, which is kind of crazy to me. I don't know. I don't really see a reason why they should stay. Let's move on to the final portion of our show. We've got 4 trailers for you today. Quick explainer. We're going to watch the trailer, and then we are going to tell you guys whether we would go see it in the theaters, whether we would wait for a rental, whether we would wait for it to drop on a streaming service like Netflix, Disney Plus, HBO Max, whatever, what have you, or whether we would not see the movie at all. Anyway, yeah, without further ado, first trailer for Primate.
We're in Hawaii, baby!
This is crazy! This is home. There's someone I want you to meet. This is Ben.
My hand? He wants to shake my hand?
Yeah. Hi, Ben!
Okay, well, gotta say, it's not exactly what I was expecting. A horror movie about a chimpanzee. I gotta say, quite honestly, I could not see myself living with an animal like that, even if it wasn't potentially, based on this trailer, potentially possessed by some sort of, like, demon thing. That's the vibe I'm getting, anyway. But
something happened. There's a snap of some kind. So what is it? What's the twist here?
You wouldn't see me anywhere near that. I've seen too many stories about people getting mauled by their pet chimpanzees that I'd be millions of miles away before I'd even think about doing something like that. That's crazy. This movie looks insane. It actually looks scary. And it grabbed me. I gotta say, I was very interested. I would not go see this by myself, but if we were together, I would go see this in the theaters with you. That's the only way. Otherwise it would have to drop on a streaming service, I think, and I would watch it with the lights on.
I don't know that I can watch this movie by myself. I jumped so many times. My heart in this chair, everything during this trailer alone. Oh my gosh. I'd end up in somebody's lap at the movie theater. I just know, like, oh my goodness gracious. It could not be that bad at all, honestly. Maybe it's just, you got the music, you got the quick transitions and the scenes and everything.
It could be the way it's edited, yeah.
But it got my heart going in a couple of places and stopped in others too. So, based off this though, like, the fact that I'm scared of it is nothing bad about the movie. I'd see this in the theaters 100%. This looks good.
It does look good.
Very good.
It does look good. I was a little put off by it's kind of like an uncanny valley, like, chimp face almost. It doesn't look quite real, but I feel like it works. Maybe it won't work when you're supposed to like the chimp, but after whatever happens, I think the uncanny valley twists it really good into like actual horror.
Yeah.
Instead of it being like a more realistic sort of CGI thing that you would get for like Planet of the Apes or whatever.
Something like that.
Yeah.
I think my only nitpick is probably... It's probably, and it's too soon to tell. I'd have to watch it. It's probably going to be the other characters in it. Like, is this typical, like, sorority girl type thing? Or, like is this typical stupidity?
Are we going to get a lot of stupid people? Is the question.
I
feel like the answer is probably yes. We're going to get a couple of smart moments, but we're going to get a lot of dumb people.
Yeah, exactly.
Especially once the frat boys come into play.
Exactly. Ugh.
Okay, second trailer for the night is going to be The Secret Agent.
Essa é a pessoa. Eu quero buraco na boca.
Gotta say, I'm not normally down with like foreign language films just because I'm a filthy American and I don't feel like reading subtitles all the time. Don't get me wrong, I like having subtitles on, but I also like to understand what people are saying in my native language. It's more of like an assistive thing than something that I should have to rely on necessarily. But
it helps when you didn't quite understand what was said, or like a certain phrase. Again, filthy American, but it's not about that. It's about the fact that I'm focusing on the subtitles because I need to read those so I have a chance at understanding what is being said, and I'm missing the actual action within it. So it's like a really bad habit of mine. This is probably just me. If I just focused on what was on the screen, I'd probably have a fair shot of understanding what was going on. But when my eyes keep drifting down, I'm missing the core thing. So for that alone, I would not be able to go see this in the theaters or anything like that because it would be a horrific experience. I probably wouldn't be able to read the damn subtitles in the freaking theater anyways.
Probably not.
My blind ass eyes anyways, so.
I think as far as the subtitles go, I've got it kind of an advantage over at least some people in that I read very quickly. But in this case, I would have to say that I would wait for it to drop on some sort of streaming service. Not because I wouldn't want to pay money for it necessarily. It would just be a stretch for me to want to pay $20, $30 on a movie where, again, I'd have to read subtitles for like 98% of the movie. And if I miss something, it's going to be real hard to go back in a movie theater. It'd be a little bit easier if you rented it, but again, I don't know if I want to pay $20, $30 on a movie that I maybe won't necessarily enjoy. One, because of the subtitles, and two, it's a movie made in a different country. It's going to be stylistically different to what me as a filthy American is used to in our Hollywood studio movies. But I would be willing to give it a chance. I would say I'd wait for it to drop on a streaming service. Just purely for those reasons.
I wholeheartedly agree with all those reasons. It would be significantly easier to wait for streaming, have multiple chances. Maybe I focus more on the movie itself as it's intended, and then use subsequent viewings to understand a little bit more of the dialogue. Is there a funny joke that I missed that I didn't quite understand the first time, or is there like a sly remark or a jab at somebody that I'd say, well, I totally missed that the first time because I was too busy trying to focus on the action or whatever it be. Definitely wait, just because it would be so much easier to handle that. I mean, most rentals are like 48 hours. You're lucky if you can get like 72. So like, Do I want to watch this that many times in that small span of a time frame to understand it?
Probably
do I even have the time to do that in that short of a span?
There's very few movies where I would want to rent it right after it comes out and pay that much money and want to watch it more than once within that whatever tiny period that they give you.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
Third trailer of the night is going to be for the Running Man remake.
You know, I've been thinking about the show. For the next 30 days, everyone in the country is trying to murder me. And that's crazy, right?
I can get down with that. Got my boy Josh Brolin in there. Directed by Edgar Wright, the same guy that directed Baby Driver. Fantastic movie. I don't know. I mean, it is just a trailer, so I'm holding out a little bit of caution. But I would go see this in the theaters.
I thought, I could be wrong, we watched something this summer. Was the original first trailer one of the trailers that was in the previews? Or am I just remembering it from when what movie did we watch? I don't remember.
It probably would have been Superman.
There. Yes, okay, super. And was the first trailer not in the previews for that? I know I saw it when I went to go see Fantastic Four. For sure.
I don't know.
I thought I saw this with you. Not this trailer, but the first one.
I don't know. I don't know when the first trailer came out. Maybe there was a teaser out back then.
I don't know. I thought we did. Anyways, the point being, I know it wasn't this trailer. From what I remember, the first one, maybe wait for rental, but maybe just wait for streaming. This trailer? 100%. I'm seeing this in the theaters, no question. I think this could be fantastic.
Oh, yeah. This looks really good. And like I said, Edgar Wright, fantastic director. He wrote the thing, too. So, despite it being a remake, based off of a book, I got pretty high hopes for this one. It looks pretty good.
Not everything. I know it happens a lot. Not everything that's based off a book has to be ruined in the theaters. Every once in a while, the movie may not be as good as the book. There are very few that I would argue are as good or better than the source material. But a lot of them ruin it. And I get that. Just doesn't look like that case.
No.
May not be as good.
It doesn't.
May not be as good.
Speaking of movies made from books, I don't know when we're going to see a trailer for it, but they are making a movie based off of, Project Hail Mary.
Yes. It's got Ryan Gosling in it.
Mm-hmm. So we'll see how that goes whenever we get a trailer for that. I'm interested because we both very much enjoyed the book, the audiobook.
I think they have a teaser trailer out for it.
Do they?
I think they have. I'm pretty sure they have a teaser out. Because I remember seeing, like, part of the hexagonal wall/barrier that's supposed to be between the tunnel between the two ships. I remember seeing a visual for this.
Okay, well, looks like we've got 5 trailers to react to. Next one up, Project Hail Mary.
Oh, we're going to bump it up a notch.
Please state your name.
Ryland Grace. I just woke up from a coma.
I'm several light years from my apartment. And I'm not an astronaut.
Okay. Right. Yeah. I gotta say, I am interested.
Okay.
The only thing I have against this is that I know what's going to happen, and that's obviously not the movie's fault or the trailer's fault because I've read the book. I am very excited in the production team, that being, I guess the director team. Phil Lord, Christopher Miller, they said it, the creators of the Spider-Verse movies, which are absolutely fantastic. Also, the directors of the Lego movie. I don't know about the second one, but at least the first one they directed. So, I don't know. Looks good. I'm down for it. The only thing that I don't like with this trailer is that they gave away the fact that he meets an alien. And that was such a big freaking twist in the book. I never saw it coming. I literally gasped when I heard that in the book. And the fact that they ruin it right away is not great. But that's not on the movie. That's on whoever edited this trailer.
Yeah. I saw the alien thing a little bit more than you did, as far as like predicting it a little bit. What I couldn't fathom around, and they ruined that in this too. I am not an astronaut.
Yeah, they ruined it. They ruined it a little bit. They did. I don't think they ruined it as badly as the alien twist, because there's still parts of that they left out.
There are that
I don't want to get into, just in case.
Key details, yes. Key details. You and I are on the same wavelength. We know exactly what that is. There are some key details to that have not been spoiled. So you might be right in that, yeah, Rocky is a little bit more of a bigger spoiler. I think they should have left that a little bit more discreet, but maybe they don't do it that way in the movie. And then maybe it's okay.
Maybe.
But I can't say how they might do it, because that'll give everything else away.
I imagine
if
it played that it's going to play out in relatively the same way that the book does, with a bunch of flashbacks and everything.
Uh-huh.
I think this trailer would have been better served to focus on one place or the other.
Yes.
I think the fact that they kind of splice between the two timelines is a little bit... That's kind of a spoiler in and of itself, I guess. I mean, not really, because you get flashbacks from like the beginning of the book, but I think the trailer would have been better served to either focus on when he was on Earth or when he's out in space.
Maybe.
Also, with not spoiling the two big plot points that they spoiled in the trailer.
I would argue to say that it's harder to understand. It would. I agree. Serve one place or the other, and not bring B or A into each other. I don't think it absolutely necessarily spoils the fact that it's flashbacks, though. How it happens, everything that goes on, again, they may not do it the same as what was in the book. I have a feeling it will be. It was a little jarring at first in the book, too. It was like, oh, this is how we're going to play this. Like, where am I? And everything else is like, okay. It doesn't, I don't think it necessarily spoils it, because there's not enough connective tissue to understand that those were flashbacks, at least from the trailer's point of view. We know what they are.
Yeah.
Based off source material, but I don't think it necessarily leads into that. Him, Rocky, for sure, definitely getting spoiled. The I am not an astronaut thing, Doesn't spoil how it happens or what happens. It just spoils that he's not an astronaut, and he wasn't in the book either. How he gets there in the movie, we'll see. Maybe something else happens. I have a feeling it's what you and I are thinking, and it won't be different, but...
As for the rating, I
would see it in the theaters,
yes. No doubt about it.
Without, key differentiator here, without previous knowledge of the book, too. This was a well put together trailer.
Yeah.
This trailer alone, without knowing the source material behind it, this trailer alone, I would go see this in the theaters. They did a good job with the trailer.
They did. It was a good trailer. My nitpicks are literally only based on the fact that I know what happens in the book.
Exactly. So, everything. Yeah, that's exactly. We nitpicked what we know about what happens. Nothing about the trailer itself. I will nitpick one thing. Sign of the Times. It's a little overplayed. That's all I'm saying. It's a little overplayed. I get it. It's a good song. It's a little overplayed. Maybe something else would have been better.
Okay. Last trailer is for Predator Badlands. Okay. I don't know if you saw it, because it was literally just like kind of dropped onto Hulu without any sort of fanfare or anything like that. But one of the movies that they mentioned was directed by this director was Prey, which is also a Predator movie. Like I said, kind of stealth dropped on Hulu. It was like pretty much the exact same time that Disney had bought out 20th Century Fox. It was a very good movie. It was Predator, but set back in I think it was maybe the mid 1800s or something like that. A predator landed on Earth and was hunting a Native American girl. Pretty dope. Pretty good movie. This movie also looks great. And part of that reason is because, at least insofar as I know, I haven't seen every single Predator movie, so people can correct me if I'm wrong. This looks like the first one to feature the Predator as the protagonist rather than the antagonist. So it's got an interesting twist as far as the regular Predator formula goes. And beyond that, the trailer just looks good. So, I'm gonna say I'd see this in the theaters. It honestly does look good.
Probably wait for a rental for me. It's not this movie's fault. And this is a trailer. So, obviously, production values, post-production work could fix this. CGI, in some ways, to me, is regressing. And it's becoming more noticeable in the flaws. Clearly, it's CG. Duh. But I feel like it's regressing some in the last couple of years to where it looks overdone. And maybe some of that's because it's more heavily used in the backgrounds and they're not doing as well with cleanup of any kind of artifacting or anything like that. Or it's somehow becoming more unbelievable. I'm not sure what it is exactly. But it's here we go. Again, another one. It's is this going to be ruined by it, or is it not going to matter at all? And that's why I'm saying wait for a rental, because it might be just fine. It might be an issue. I don't know yet. It's too soon to tell.
That's fair. Yeah, I can see where you're coming from on that. It doesn't really bother me as much, honestly. Like, as long as the CGI isn't egregiously bad, I can tolerate it. It's not that big of a deal to me.
It looked in some places, and caveat, YouTube compression.
That, yes, that, definitely.
Could have very well have played into the egregiousness in some of it. It very well could have been a bad stream I got. Maybe YouTube compressed it some reason. It shouldn't. Got better internet than he does. I don't know. Who knows? I noticed it. It's probably nothing. It very well probably is nothing. And maybe another trailer comes out and it looks really, really clean, or I get a different source material for the video and it looks really, really clean. It's like, oh, never mind. I was wrong. I very well may be wrong. But I don't... The story is not, to me, right now, it's not enough. It's not exciting enough for me to say, I want to see it in the theaters.
Fair. That's fair. Yeah.
So, whatever. Looks good, though.
All right. That is it for this episode, guys. Thank you so much for watching. If you're on YouTube, please be sure to subscribe, like, comment, all that good stuff. If you're on listening to the audio version on a podcasting platform, give us a rating, 5 stars, all that jazz. And we'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.